Three police cruisers lit up our quiet cul-de-sac like some twisted suburban carnival from hell. My sister Maya, fresh from 2 tours and battling PTSD, stood on our front lawn in handcuffs while the HOA president Belinda Hargrove smirked from her driveway. The charge? Illegal military surveillance, on a street where the biggest threat was someone planting the wrong shade of petunias. Little did Belinda know she'd just started a war she was never going to win. I'm Ethan Caldwell, 37, the guy who fixes websites from my home office in Serenity Pines, one of those cookie-cutter Florida suburbs where every house is painted the exact same coastal beige and the mailboxes all match like obedient soldiers. Monthly dues, $90. Rule book, thicker than my college psych textbook. The air itself smells like fresh mulch and quiet desperation. 3 weeks earlier, Maya had shown up with one duffel bag and the 1,000-yard stare that said Afghanistan still lived rent-free in her head. She was 29, medically retired after an IED turned her Humvee into scrap metal. The VA called it TBI and PTSD. The neighborhood busybodies called it unstable element. I figured family was family, so I cleared the guest room and told the HOA nothing. Big mistake. Belinda Hargrove rolled up on day 3 like a blonde battleship in a white Lexus that probably cost more than my truck. Perfect bob haircut that never moved in the wind. Acrylic nails tapping a laminated rule book like it was the Bible. Mr. Caldwell, she purred in that syrupy voice that somehow made threats sound like helpful suggestions. Your guest has already violated our 7-day visitor policy. Extended stays require board approval, a background check, and a $50 processing fee. She's my sister, I said, trying to sound reasonable. Recovering from military service. Belinda's smile tightened like a noose. Military personnel can attract certain elements. We've seen it before. Drug issues, loud behavior, that sort of thing. We just want to protect property values for everyone. The way she said everyone made it clear she meant everyone who looked and acted exactly like her. I should have told her to shove the clipboard where the HOA sun didn't shine. Instead, I smiled back and said we'd comply. Tactical error number 1. Because Belinda didn't just enforce rules, she weaponized them. Within 48 hours, the certified letters started arriving like sniper fire. Unauthorized vehicle. Maya's dusty army truck disrupted aesthetic harmony. Noise violation. Her 5 a.m. runs apparently qualified as disturbing the peace. And the kicker, visible military equipment through the windows. The attached photos showed Maya's VA-prescribed resistance bands and balance board labeled as potential tactical gear. What made my blood run cold were the camera angles. No way those shots were taken from the street. Belinda had been on my property, peering through windows like a suburban peeping Tom. I kept quiet. Watched. Documented every nasty gram in a folder I labeled Belinda's greatest hits. Maya, bless her, stayed calm too. She'd disappear for long walks, come back with that small black notebook filled with neat handwriting. When I asked what she was doing, she just shrugged. Old habits. Gathering intel. The neighborhood started picking sides. Jake from 2 doors down, nice enough guy with a minivan and 3 kids, cornered me at the mailbox. Look, Ethan, I get it, she's family. But Belinda showed us photos. My wife's worried about the kids. Mrs. Nguyen next door, a sweet Vietnamese grandma who made killer spring rolls, whispered that Belinda once fined her $200 for foreign cooking odors drifting over the fence. The irony of calling Pho a public nuisance while her vanilla candle collection could clear a room wasn't lost on anyone except Belinda. Day 8 brought the hearing notice. $50 daily fines until compliance. I stayed up until 3 a.m. researching ADA protections and Fair Housing Act violations. Turns out you can't just harass a disabled veteran and call it community standards. But I didn't fire back yet. I waited. Watched Belinda's Lexus cruise the streets slower and slower, her phone camera clicking from behind hedges. Maya started timing her runs so Belinda could see every lap. She'd wave cheerfully at the hidden cameras we both knew were there. Drawing fire, she told me one night over cheap beer on the back porch. Let the enemy commit resources. Then you know exactly where they are. Her smile was small and terrifying. I didn't realize yet that my quiet little sister had spent her entire military career hunting financial crimes and running counter-surveillance ops. Belinda thought she was bullying a traumatized vet and her nerdy brother. She had no idea she'd just poked the quietest, most dangerous hornet's nest in Serenity Pines. By week 2, the fines hit $1,200, and the neighborhood was splitting faster than cheap drywall. Belinda called an emergency security meeting that somehow got accidentally forwarded to my inbox. The subject line read, "Protecting our families from unstable influences." Inside, she'd written things like certain residents whose lifestyles threaten property values and maintaining the character of Serenity Pines. Code for anyone who wasn't white, straight, and boring. Jake's wife started crossing the street when she saw Maya jogging. "Mrs. Nguyen left a Tupperware of spring rolls on my porch with a note that said, 'Stay strong. We see what she's doing.'" Even old Mr. Peterson with his walker got pulled aside and warned about associating with trouble. I still played dumb. Smiled at Belinda when she waved from her driveway like we were best friends. Inside, I was building a file thicker than her precious rule book. Every time-stamped photo she took, every email, every whispered conversation Maya overheard and recorded on her phone. My sister moved like a ghost, noticing license plates, delivery patterns, who visited Belinda's house after dark. Then came the breakthrough that tasted like victory and bile at the same time. Maya spread printed bank statements across our kitchen table one Thursday night. "Look at this," she said, voice flat like she was briefing a general. Hartwell Maintenance Solutions, Belinda's nephew's company, billed the HOA $47,000 last year for safety upgrades that don't exist. No new cameras, no fence repairs, nothing. The money just disappeared. I stared at the numbers until they blurred. Kickbacks. Fake invoices. Belinda had been skimming HOA dues to pay her nephew for work that was never done, then using the budget shortfall excuse to jack up everyone's fees. The same woman who fined Mrs. Nguyen for cooking smells had been robbing the entire neighborhood blind while preaching about protecting property values. Maya wasn't done. She's also been pressuring elderly residents to sell. Mr. Peterson got hit with so many fines he almost put his house on the market last month. Guess who's best friends with the realtor who keeps showing up? The dark humor of it all hit me like a slap. Belinda Hargrove, defender of beige perfection, was running a little embezzlement side hustle while accusing my sister of being the real criminal. We didn't rush. That's what made it beautiful. Maya taught me how to build an airtight case the way the Army taught her. Dates, photos, bank records, witness statements. Mrs. Nguyen quietly started collecting her own pile of discriminatory fines. Jake's brother, a contractor, confirmed the work was never performed. Even Officer Ramirez from the local PD, the same guy who'd cuffed Maya that first awful night, started looking uncomfortable when he saw the pattern. Belinda's paranoia kicked into overdrive. She started random inspections that somehow always happened when Maya was doing her backyard PT. She planted broken sprinkler heads near our property line and tried to blame it on military-style training. She circulated flyers calling for a special safety vote to ban extended family stays. The woman was unraveling in real time, and every desperate move just handed us more evidence. I finally broke my silence at the community pool one Saturday. Belinda cornered me by the snack table, voice dripping honey. "Ethan, we're all concerned for your sister's well-being. The board has discussed offering her relocation assistance if she needs a more suitable environment. Translation: get the crazy veteran out before she scares the children." I smiled the way Maya taught me. Calm, cold, polite. "That's very generous, Belinda. But we're actually concerned for the community. All that missing money, the selective enforcement, it doesn't look good, does it?" Her acrylic nails stopped tapping. For the first time, I saw real fear flicker behind the perfect makeup. The monthly HOA meeting turned into the main event. 43 residents packed the community center, folding chairs scraping like nails on a chalkboard. Belinda strode to the podium in a power suit that screamed, "I still control this circus," clipboard raised like a scepter. Vanilla perfume so thick it could double as chemical warfare. "Ladies and gentlemen," she began, voice trembling with righteous fury, "we face a serious security threat. Unauthorized surveillance, military-style operations, potential danger to our children. I move for immediate expulsion of the Caldwell household under our safety provisions." She clicked her little remote, and the projector lit up with her greatest hits. Blurry photos of Maya doing push-ups, timestamps of her runs, even screenshots of my sister's VA telehealth calls that Belinda somehow obtained. The room murmured. A few people looked ready to cheer. I stood up slowly. Before we vote, the board might want to explain something. I hit my own remote. Bank records filled the screen. $47,000 in fraudulent payments to Hartwell Maintenance Solutions. Fake invoices. Kickback transfers straight into Belinda's nephew's account. Timeline showing how she'd targeted undesirable residents, veterans, immigrants, elderly, to force sales and cover her tracks. The silence was so complete you could hear Belinda's acrylic nails crack. Maya stepped forward next, calm as a sniper. In my line of work, we followed the money. Turns out Mrs. Hargrove followed it straight into federal fraud territory. Mail fraud, wire fraud, civil rights violations under the Fair Housing Act. The FBI is already reviewing the package we sent yesterday. Gasps. Phones came out. Belinda's face went the color of spoiled milk. These are lies, fabricated by a mentally unstable veteran. Officer Ramirez stood up in the back. Actually, ma'am, we've received multiple formal complaints, and the federal investigator sitting in row 3 would like a word after this meeting. The vote of no confidence passed 41-2. Belinda was removed on the spot. Within weeks, the FBI showed up with warrants. Her nephew flipped faster than cheap lawn furniture. Assets frozen. House listed for sheriff's sale. The white Lexus got repossessed right in front of the neighborhood, while Belinda screamed about political persecution. 6 months later, Serenity Pines looked different. New HOA board, Mrs. Nguyen as treasurer, Jake as president, eliminated the worst rules and refunded overpaid dues from the recovered fraud money. Mr. Peterson got his walker ramp installed for free. Maya started consulting for other veterans getting squeezed by corrupt HOAs. I finally slept through the night without checking the driveway for white Lexuses. The plastic ducks in the fake creek still bobbed along, but now they looked almost charming instead of suffocating. And Belinda? 3 years federal time plus full restitution. Last I heard, she was working in the prison laundry, folding orange jumpsuits, and probably writing angry letters about inmate rights violations. Here's the question I want you to answer in the comments. Who was the real criminal? The veteran quietly doing physical therapy in her own backyard, or the smiling HOA president who stole from her neighbors while preaching about community standards? Was it ever really about safety, or just power and money dressed up in beige perfection? Drop your verdict below. Because next time your HOA sends another ridiculous fine, remember, sometimes the quiet ones are taking notes. And karma always has perfect timing.